Good afternoon all, CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, January 12th. We're looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and NQ. Look, a good week for the bulls, right? Up about $9, over $9. Last week, we stopped the one-time framing up for 9 weeks. We were down $7.39. So this week, we took that all back and a little more. The one concern is we can't go up there and clean up that mess with the all-time high being poor and the overnight being the all-time high in the overnight and that also being poor. SPY still hasn't gotten its all-time high. Missed it by $1 and change today. So that's a little concern at that balance high. Before we get into that, I just want to mention, I didn't mention in this morning's video, I meant to. Look, I'm going to offer through the end of the year, and this goes for the people in my room. For the people in my room who are paying $30 or who paid a yearly fee of $275 when your renewal comes up, $225 for the year, payable only through Venmo or PayPal. And the reason I'm doing that is because I still want to give 10% of that to St. Jude's because not a lot of people signed up. So this goes for new people that want to join my trading room. And it also goes for people in my trading room. For the ones that are paying the $30 a month, you can go to an annual for $225, and or the annual people once their renewal comes due. Okay. Now, today, let's go over what happened here. NQ, triple Q. Let's start again. Righty comes back to balance on a gap higher, only to come back in and go trend down. So righty ends with a 10 wide point of control, an afternoon rally high in J, and 2 sets of single prints, and a beautiful B shape. They're still in balance on the daily. We'll go over all those charts too today. NQ goes out 10 wide. It's not 11 because I'm in bigger increments, and an afternoon rally high in J. We go out 10 wide with an afternoon rally high in J, and more importantly, this is the fourth attempt at a trend day down out of 9 trading days this year. All 4 have failed. So gaps down have failed, trend days down have failed. Now we haven't gapped up yet this year, and trend days up have only held 1 out of 6. So there's a lot of emotional trading going on, but not much of it is holding. This was almost a carbon copy of yesterday. This was a blueprint. Today's trading, yesterday was a blueprint for it. Okay, without a doubt, almost to the T, except for some time frames that were different. I had a very good day. Again, this time though, I'll go over what I should have taken and didn't. But again, early in the day, I did well in A period on an ebb and flow long in ES and NQ because they were working above the opening. Once we got our overnight high and had value higher at that point, which we ended up unchanged for the second day in a row, but at that point the ebb and flow long was working. I did take a long in B period and managed it. I worked my butt off on this one. Managed it. This trade started in A. I was long at 33, 30, and then 17 and 10, and ended up making like 1.5 points out of it. So I worked my butt off. They weren't big. I was only 1 at 33, 1 at 30, and then the majority started at 17 and then 10. But I had to work really hard and basically broke even on it, made 1.5 points. Then everything changed. Now it became an ebb and flow short for me. Okay? So in C period, I was taking the ebb and flow short against the IB low to go get it and the ebb and flow short in ES. I took a short. The one loss I had was at NQ and D period. I shorted against the 144, got above it, took it off for a loss, and they stopped the one-time framing. They never went trend NQ. But I did make money in D against both the 144 at half back when it rolled over, so I did okay in that. And then in G period, I took a long in NQ to finally stop the one-time framing, got paid on that. Now, what I missed, initially I was looking to short in ES between E's high and A's low. Couldn't get there, kept canceling my offers. In NQ, I was looking to short half back at 78 and then added 88 and 98. I canceled that. Well, it was good cancel because we went higher. But what I didn't do is get back involved. I should have. There was no reason at all not to take a small short in both ES and NQ in J against B's high in both of them and the opening. Value had gone from overlapping a higher to unchanged. Now NQ was overlapping a higher. If I put this in bigger increments, it would still be overlapping a higher. I believe it would be. But there was no reason not to. That was a good risk reward. Now, is it an innovative trade? Of course it is, because we're one-time framing up. But again, it's one-time framing up in context. We're still inside the day's range. The value's not in your favor. The indices aren't in your favor. Now, we did raise POC at that point. We ended up lowering it again, both of us. We raised it, then lowered it. So that's one trade should have took. And then the other one, since I didn't take that, was when we broke J's low. You had 2 hours worth of longs. That just puked it up in K and L. So I had a good day and a good week, but those are definitely two trades. Even if these would have been small lots because the market was one-time framing up, should have jumped on with a bigger lot when we took out J's low. And, you know, that's what we talk about in the room. Now, a lot of people did jump on board a short down there. That's the better short because you're stopping the one-time framing. It can't be an afternoon pullback because F was already down here and too close to the day's low to be even think about an afternoon pullback. So that's why you would think they would start filling out the B shape a little more. So that's what we discuss in this room, okay? We're always talking about what we're looking for before it happens, not after it happens, and why. All right, as far as destinations go, in SPY, afternoon rally high J 477.34, and our weekly high and yearly high right now 478.60, and then they only have one other destination 479.98. Their all-time high. Downside 10 wide 476.32. Today's low 472.26. In ES, downside is our POC 13 and a quarter. Today's low 02 and a quarter. And then the upside is 23.75 afternoon rally high. Today's high, which is a new yearly high of 36.50, and you should have the other ones up above. Now let's go to the charts and break them down for you guys and gals. Okay? So we're going to start with Russell. Russell had a very, very powerful December, coming out of a 22-month balance, attempting to come out of it to the upside. But if you recall, I said I am calling IWM balance until January takes out January takes out December's high. That has not happened yet. And, in fact, we've gotten $8 back below the previous balance high. Is that cause for concern yet? No, it's not. But at some point, sooner rather than later, you'd like to see January take out December's high for two reasons. Number one, I'd firmly call it up. We are one-time framing up for 3 months because an inside month doesn't change things yet. But you'd be getting more distance away from this balance, and then you might have a chance to start attacking towards the all-time high. But right now, it's balance. Keep an eye on that still. The weekly is down. The weekly came into balance last week, and now this week, down. So things changed there, right? Why did I have this line in here? Oh, that was the next big level, 207.92. Okay. So the weekly is down. That's not too great. And the daily is one big balance. I'm going to call it an 8-day balance. I'm using this day's high, where we still have a gap. From January 3rd is the high. Yesterday's low is the low of it. So how big is that balance? That balance is not that big, $6.37. So the longer they stay in that kind of balance, hopefully the more energy they come out. So right now, IWM, as powerful as the Decembers they had, is still balance on the monthly, balance on the daily, and down on the weekly. Let's go to Qs and NQ. Monthly's up, right? One time frame up 3 months. Their overnight high is still their all-time high in both triple Qs and NQ. So keep that in mind. That's still a target. Above that, you would have uncharted territory. So the monthly is up. The weekly is 4-week balance. Okay? This is now a 4-week balance now. And the daily, what they did do, though, is fill the gap this week. That's good. And the daily is, I would call the daily up. They took out yesterday's low. Yesterday's, no, I take that back. Yesterday came back into balance when we took out, the previous day's low. Is this an inside day today? 4/11/20? Almost was. I didn't realize that. So kind of like ES and SPY. Well, they only took out yesterday's high by 5 cents. I'm going to call them balance. I'm going to call them a 3-day balance for triple Qs. So the monthly is up. The weekly and daily a balance. Now let's go to ES and SPY. The monthly is up. One time framing up 3 months. One more target besides today's high. And that's this high right here. 479.98 from January 4th, 2022. Okay? 2 years ago. The weekly is balance. Yes, we did take out the yearly high, but not by a lot. You want to impress me? Take out this week's high next week, and I will firmly call the weekly up. For now, I'm calling it a 4-week balance. This week's high is the high of it. Last week's low is the low of it, the bottom of it. Okay? And then on the daily, just like NQ, we took out yesterday's high by a lot more than 5 cents. We took it out by 48 cents. I'm going to call it balance to up. You want to still call it balance, that's fine. But I'm going to kind of call it or up to balance, either way you say it. I would like to get more distance away from the upside. We are certainly having trouble at the 4-week balance high. Okay, we closed below it, that previous weekly high, even though we stretched it a bit. Again, if we don't start getting acceptance above this week's high, we can at least go test the bottom of the balance. That's only $10 lower, but you can get there in a heartbeat. So bulls need to get going. Okay, so the monthly is up, the weekly is balanced, and the daily is either up to balance. Again, it's subjective, whatever you would like to call it. This is going to be the lightest volume of the year, most likely, come 8 o'clock tonight. I don't think we're going to do 8 million in the after hours. So a good chance this will be our lightest volume of the year. Also a very small range, 337, our third smallest range. I hope you guys and gals had a great week trading. There will be no video Monday. The regular trading hours are closed. I will not be here Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. And we'll speak prior to the opening on Tuesday.